We have Asa Jain of Senior Research Analyst at Securities joining in, and Jagannatham Tunuguntla of Centrum Broking to give us more perspective on this really much awaited IPO. Very quickly, I'll just take you through some of the anchor investors because that's the latest news that we've got. SBI Life Insurance has been included in the anchor investment book. Reliance Capital, DSP BlackRock, Reliance Strategic Investment, Goldman Sachs Singapore, Goldman Sachs India, just to name a few. But Asa, let me start with you then. Thanks so much for joining in. This is really an IPO that has been long awaited. It is the second big AMC to get listed, and it seems like, like the rest of the financial names that have listed recently, that this will be a good long-term portfolio bet. First off, what is your view on this IPO?
Good morning. If we talk about the fundamentals of the company, fundamentals are very great. The most important factor which we look in each and every IPO is the growth parameter. And if we talk about the growth, CAGR is quite attractive in this company. Basically, they have posted the CAGR of more than 30%, 33% AUM. CAGR is there in the company. If we talk about since FY 2001, if we talk about the financials also, like bottom line, top line, on both these parameters, the company is standing. Company has performed outstandingly if we compare it with the peers, because they have grown at a CAGR of around 20% since FY14 in the top line, bottom line. So growth is quite strong in this company. Even if we talk about the return parameters, return on shareholders' investments, so this company is again outstanding. It has consecutively posted more than 40% return on equity. If we talk about from financial year 2014, I should say. So growth is strong in this company. Return ratios are quite strong in this company. This is the second largest asset manager in the country. So altogether, all the parameters, if we talk about this company is outstanding, and that's why we have a subscribe on the issue. Subscribe for the listing gains as well as long-term purpose. If any investor keep this stock in the portfolio also, then we expect this company to generate returns of more than 30% in the long term. So altogether, it is a good IPO to bet on, and our recommendation is subscribe both from the listing gains as well as long-term perspective.
All right, so it's a subscribe coming in there from Securities as far as an HDFC AMC is concerned, not only for listing day gains, but also as a long-term portfolio stock. Jagannatham, let me come to you then. What do you make of this IPO? It's the second AMC to be listed, and more importantly, perhaps, yet another HDFC company to be listed. How do you see the valuations first off?
Yeah, when we look at this HDFC Group IPOs, I remember one of the quotes given by Rahul Dravid about Saurav Ganguly. He said that on the upside, first there is God and then Saurav Ganguly. I think the same applies to HDFC Group companies in capital markets. First there is God and then HDFC Group companies. And the kind of excitement that these IPOs create, even in the sophisticated investors, is unbelievable. So it's the second largest AMC in India in terms of AUM, and the largest AMC in terms of the equity-oriented AUM, and a strong franchise and built over last 20 years, formidable distribution strength and great brand, great parentage. It's very rare to see these quality IPOs to come to the markets. I think it's understandable the kind of excitement the market is sensing. It's not just the business strength or the scalability, and also the profitability is extraordinary. It's the most profitable AMC in India. We have about 770 crores of profitability, return on equity of 33% speaks volumes. And also in terms of debt, there is zero debt, and in terms of dividend payout ratio, they have 56% dividend payout ratio. All put together, one can expect it to be a blockbuster kind of IPO. And the only other listed peer in the market is say Reliance Nippon asset management company. In comparison to Reliance Nippon, HDFC AMC may appear optically a little overvalued, but with the kind of credentials and the kind of depth and the profitability that HDFC AMC enjoys, I think this high valuation is also justified. And there is every reason to believe there will be strong investor interest for this IPO. At Centrum, we have rated it 5 on 5.
All right, so definitely a subscribe. Let me then, just to make a finer point of that, would you be recommending this to long-term investors, or do you think that there is any strategy here to play for listing day gains?
Yes, we believe there should be positive listing gains as well as long-term wealth creation. We somehow believe that this particular IPO and this particular company should be seen for long-term wealth creation. I think it's better not to be sold on the listing there, not for trading purpose, and look for a slightly longish term, like 3-5 years kind of thing. I'm sure the wealth creation that these stocks will do is amazing, and we believe that in the next 3 to 5 years, the kind of profits that HDFC AMC will gain probably will put together will equals at least two or three times from the current levels. I think it's not meant for traded, and it's not meant for just IPO listing pop. It's much more than that. And stay invested. It's a direct proxy on the Indian financialization process, and also it's the Indian mutual fund culture that is unfolding. I believe look for long-term kind of thing. And one of the rare IPOs at Centrum House, we have rated 5 on 5, which indicates high conviction subscribe, and this IPO has it.
All right, high conviction subscribe to this IPO. We might see listing day gains, but don't get tempted then to book out at that stage. This is a long-term portfolio stock. Asa, you spoke about how the financials of an HDFC AMC are in place. So it's not just the brand value that's really driving the interest in this one. It has been performing. It is the largest equity-oriented, at least by AUM, AMC since fiscal 2011, in fact. So it's been a sustained performance that we've seen here from an HDFC AMC. Give us a sense of where this one stands against its peers. Of course, we don't have many to compare it to. Reliance Nippon is the only other listed one. But if you look at the likes of ICICI Prudential Mutual Fund, Aditya Birla Sun Life, Reliance Mutual Fund as well, where does this one stand? And, going ahead as well, considering it's already been the market leader, can we expect that it will be able to maintain that position?
Yeah, sure. If we talk about peers, basically, the major parameter is PAT upon average AUM, and this company is again performing. I mean, it has the outstanding ratio of 0.26% when we compare it to the peer. Like in the listed space, Reliance Nippon is there. So PAT upon average AUM ratio of Reliance Nippon is 0.21%, which is lower than this company. And even if we talk about the other peers like ICICI Prudential, so all these, I mean, other players also, their PAT to average AUM ratio is less than this company, because they are in the range of 0.14 to 0.21%, while this company has the highest, I should say highest standing on this ratio of 0.26%. If we talk about other valuation parameters also, like this company is bringing the IPO at the 7.8% of their AUM. Basically, it is commanding the market capitalization. So although it's at the little premium, because if we talk about Reliance Nippon, which is the only listed space in the domestic market, so I mean, Reliance Nippon is commanding the valuation of 5.6%, lower than this company, but again, the growth parameters are strong, return ratios are strong. This company is the leader, and the way, I should say, mutual fund industry is coming in these times after demonetization. They are commanding the SIP of around rupees 7,000 crore every month, and again, SIP is like an order book for any AMC. So this company continues to draw a large number of SIP, we should believe, and going forward, we are like very much optimistic about the valuations, about the returns on this company, and we recommend our client just keep this stock in the portfolio, because in the long term also we are expecting this company to give more than 50% returns if the time horizon is more than a year or a two.
Right, at least 50% returns over a year or two as far as time horizon goes. Let's talk about risks then. Jagannatham, I'll start with you. We've of course seen stellar performance on the back of demonetization and the market performance last year, but it is a very different picture that we're talking about this year. What are the sort of concerns that investors might have when they're looking into the financial performance of an HDFC AMC going ahead from here?
True. I think there are 2-3 factors that we should keep in mind in terms of risk factors. One is if there is a sudden fall in the markets, and also there is intense increased competition among the mutual funds. But having said all this, I think if we look at the history of HDFC mutual fund, even during the big bear market of 2008 and 2010, those 2-3 years, HDFC mutual fund has grown substantially, both in the top line, AUM, as well as bottom line. And also now there are 42 mutual funds. Even with that kind of competition, HDFC AMC can able to throw positive surprises. What I'm trying to say is that with the kind of brand and the positioning HDFC AMC has, I feel it has the enough wherewithal to handle the market fall as well as the competition pressure. So I don't think that should really a matter of concern seriously. And moreover, one more thing is beyond a point, out of these 42 mutual funds in the industry, only the top 10-15 players are really making the meaningful profits, and the remaining players are finding it difficult to make a mark in terms of profitability. I think consolidation also may be on cards at some point. So competition going through consolidation should be an added advantage for HDFC AMC.
All right. In fact, Astha, even if we look through the kind of risks that the mutual fund industry might be facing in the year ahead of us or a year and a half ahead of us, there is the fact that this, holds the HDFC brand name, and we've seen that play out with the HDFC Standard Life IPO as well. How much value would you be attributing to the brand recall of an HDFC AMC? And just to add to that as well, what should be the expectation in terms of dividend payout and such?
We are expecting this company is again, very strong on the dividend payouts also, and we are expecting this company to continue to deliver this kind of dividend payout. And most probably the brand HDFC itself is a premium brand, because they have other listed players. As we know, HDFC Bank is there, HDFC Limited is there, Graha Finance is there, HDFC Standard Life Insurance. These all are listed players, and if we see the market capitalization of all these listed players, they are commanding the great market capitalization. And returns, if we talk about returns, although HDFC Bank is trading near the all-time high, so again this brand and this company basically has proven from time to time that they are really working well on giving returns to its shareholders, and definitely this will well work for the company in the coming future also. Altogether, we are quite bullish on this IPO. We are quite optimistic on this IPO, and we recommend all our clients and all your viewers to invest in this IPO.
All right, so definitely an invest coming in there. Just a last question then to Jagannatham. You spoke about, how this should be a long-term story. Considering we might see listing day gains, and we're likely to see that considering the response for an HDFC AMC, if one is not allotted if you try to subscribe to during the IPO, should one buy the stock following the listing, even if we see those listing day gains? Would there be considerable interest even after, the listing day?
Yeah, as you rightly said, allotment may be a challenge in this, understandably, for the kind of oversubscription the stock is expected to see. And also even in the anchor book, if you closely notice, I think very high quality bluest of the blue FIIs and DIIs have invested. And also there is a pent-up demand, and many even the investors in the anchor book feeling that probably they didn't got enough what they are looking for, meaning thereby there can be a chance of some of them coming and buying in the open market as well. We feel there should be strong buying momentum to continue even after the listing, and also even the HDFC mutual fund schemes themselves, which are not allowed to participate in the anchor book, will also be buyers after the listing, we believe. So all put together, we put together, I believe, if the stock lists at a decent premium, if there is any profit booking there and thereabouts around the IPO listing, I think the stock should be seen even after the listing as a buying opportunity by the investors.